This was the beginning. The beginning.
One more.
Hi, thank you.
Hi.
You mentioned that there's no end to this process. And so something without an end must not also have a beginning. So I'm just curious to hear what you have to say about not only that there's no end, but that there's no beginning, and so that this process of spiritual growth is already happening regardless.
Well, here's the paradox, is that even though there's no end, at a certain point of the lights coming on, at a certain point of clarity, there's that we're living, in my experience, a quite amazing paradox, which that every moment, in other words, where you are, feels complete and sufficient. So in that sense, not that it's abstractly or philosophically the end, but it feels like an end in itself. It is a completion. It feels totally complete. It doesn't feel, usually when we think of something's a process that goes on, there's something that's like, oh my God, I'm done with processes that goes on and on and on and on. So if you understood it in that context, I think there would be something really vital that would be missed, which is, even though it's endless, at each point of the Dharma feels totally and absolutely complete. In the sense of that there feels like there's nothing else, there's no insufficiency. And within that no insufficiency, within that sense of deep, deep experiential completeness, the next more complete thing shows up, right? And that feels complete. So you don't, at a certain point, you stop feeling like you're on a treadmill, always trying to get there but never arriving. Do you know what I mean? Part of, I think, the really being deeply realized is the sense, the feeling of arriving at each moment, but not in such a way that you've made a conclusion of finality. So you kind of get the best of both worlds in a certain sense. The deep rest of not struggling or seeking in the conventional sense, and the adventure and the joy of existence always revealing itself. You know, that's my experience anyway.
Yeah, I think that's a very nice way of saying it, that doesn't answer complete the question of beginning, but it
No, I
shows
leave
that,
that
like,
to you.
but that, no, it's already in the Bible. I don't have to say it. The Bible already said it. I can't contradict it. First was the beginning. The beginning. I'll be crucified. I said there's no beginning. Oh God!
It just blew it all up.
I'm glad I'm not living in Syria these days. But I think one thing, in our discussion, it sounds like realization is a matter of pure awareness and emptiness and vastness and then how to live that. In reality, as realization realizes further realization, what you come to is the simplicity of things. Things get much simpler. You don't care about emptiness. You don't care about awareness. You just drink your tea.
Yeah.
Talk to your friend. You're back to Zen again.
I love it.
You're back to Zen for some reason.
It's so true. It's so true, though. It's so true, though. That's why I often tell people that, you know, I'm actually much more boring than you imagine. If you think I sit around talking like this all the time, you know, one can only take it for so much. On any given day, you know. It's fun, but you do have to just have a cup of tea and forget it all. And live it. Live it.
Yeah, sometimes you have to go through all that stuff, the spiritual thing, you know, the spiritual journey, to arrive at simplicity. Because simplicity is the ordinary life without the usual self. People don't know that. Most people think if there's no ordinary self, you're this big, majestic thing. No, you can be no self. I'm nobody. I'm actually nobody, completely nobody. There's nobody here, no self, no person, no nothing. But, you know, I'm drinking my water and my beads broke. You know? It's very simple. You know, there's going to be dinner soon. I could say I'm going to have dinner. You could say dinner happening. But it doesn't matter. You know, after a while, you don't care. There is a freedom. The freedom is really the complete, sort of another way of saying the completion that I just saying that you're free. You know, there are, you know, you have limitation. There's a limitation. There's no limitation. Thing becomes simple, and you don't bother yourself with it. And the important thing, you don't bother others with it.
Just as important.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how people know, you realize when you don't bother other people with it. You see, that's the proof.
As they say in Zen, if you want to know the attainment of the master, ask his wife or her husband, whoever happens to be the master. They're the ones that know. Don't ask the master. Forget it. Ask the person they live with.
Exactly right, yes.